Long-time listener, first-time caller. There was a couple of things I was wanting to talk to you about. Your phrase, corporate takeover, is very adequate. I did want to ask you a question, something that I heard. Someone I don't agree with on everything, but I do believe he is correct on a few things. David Icke said that the Virginia company still owns this quote-unquote country, but they just simply changed their name to the United States. And he wrote that in one of his books, A Guide to the Global Conspiracy. It's on page 231. Is that true?
Say that again.
He said that the British Crown that owned the Virginia company simply changed their name under several pseudonyms, as he says, as U.S., USA, United States of America, Washington, D.C., District of Columbia, etc., and that this country is technically still being run by the Crown.
There's some truth to that, but people also say the United States is a corporation chartered in Delaware, and that's not actually true. It's a little more sophisticated than that, but deals were made with the British Crown as part of the armistice and in the end of the war, where we did sign treaties with England, and some of the holdings of British corporations they were allowed to keep. Most of them they weren't. But there's no doubt the District of Columbia is now operating as an outside force, and it itself has been part of a corporate takeover since 1933. It was taken over by the Bank of England at that time, and the Council on Foreign Relations was established by British intelligence. So, yes, globalism is just the British Empire by stealth. Globalization is treason by its very definition. Meanwhile, they've got us all scared to death of men with turbans or 11 Russian spies, and, you know, all of that is going on and is, I guess, a threat at some level. But it's the difference between being shot with a BB gun and being dropped into a meat grinder. I mean, just the orders of a degree. It is the British mercantile imperial model that is literally raping and robbing everything.
Exactly. And another question that I have is that, you know, we have a military that can defend us from foreign invaders, just like most countries have a military. That's not a, you know, that's pretty straightforward. How do you fight a monster like this?
I understand the question. Let me answer it.
Hi, this is Peter Crotchnobble with Midas Resources. As you know, government spending is at an all-time high, and inflation will be a direct result of the spending policy. What are you doing right now to protect yourself financially? Are the majority of your assets tied up in the stock or bond market? If so, are those assets working for you or against you? One thing is certain, having physical possession of gold and silver will guarantee that no matter what happens to our economy or the dollar, your investment will never be worthless, and it will protect you from that hidden tax, inflation. If you've been thinking about investing in physical possession of the precious metals, the time is now. Gold is at an all-time high and continues to move up. I can help. Call me today, Peter Crotchnobble, at 800-686-2237 at extension 108, and I'll take the time to personally put together a portfolio designed to protect what you've worked so hard for. Call 800-686-2237, extension 108. You've worked hard your whole life, and I want to work hard for you. Call Peter Crotchnobble, 800-686-2237, extension 108.
They helped to create a new world order.
We are part of a new world order.
A new world order based upon collective action.
Invisible Empire is a damning indictment of the globalists through their own words and documents.
The new world order really is a tool for addressing a new world of possibilities.
It means all the world under their control.
The United Nations would take over America. The Trilateral Commission would control the world.
Invisible Empire chronicles how men of power and influence have worked in stealth for centuries to establish an oppressive world government.
I believe, first of all, that we now need nothing short of a world constitution for the global financial system.
Global governance with the establishment of the G20.
So it's going to be an inner ruling elite and then everyone else. And I got news for you. You're everyone else.
Invisible Empire. Secure your copy today at Infowars.com or PrisonPlanet.com, or watch it online in the highest quality at PrisonPlanet.tv.
Don't answer it.
If fear strikes your heart when the phone rings, knowing it may be another bill collector, it's time for you to call Zero Debt in 90 days. 800-477-9256. Settlements, bankruptcy, and attorneys are not the answer and may end up costing you up to 10 times more than necessary. Listen, if you're already in debt, does it make sense to get buried in another payment plan? Zero Debt in 90 days gets you out of debt in 90 days guaranteed, without a payment plan and without attorneys or going to court. Get the fastest relief from debt on the planet when you call 800-477-9256. If you have debt with the IRS, credit cards, student loans, or a foreclosure, we can help at Zero Debt in 90 days, and we are the only organization to provide written guarantees on the results. Go to ZeroDebtGuaranteed.com. That's ZeroDebtGuaranteed.com. Or call now for free information. 800-477-9256. That's 800-477-9256.
Hello, this is Alex Jones with some important questions. If you're going into a battle and they give you a rifle and a sidearm, how much ammunition do you want? My answer would be all I can get. In the battle for freedom and the lives of your loved ones, food is your only ammunition. How much do you want? When do you want it? Now or after the battle starts? When will you need it? Can you buy it without proper identification? Will there be any food? Will it make your children sick? If there's a quarantine and you can't feed yourself, will you go to the gathering center and be immunized? You wipe out all these problems if you have a good food supply. Food is your ammunition to fight for your freedom and your life. How much will you need? We don't know. How much do you want? All you can get. I'm Alex Jones. I want all of you good guys to live to fight another day. Call 1-800-409-5633 or check it out on the web at efoodsdirect.com.
Covert corporate army that comes in and builds takeover mechanisms that are actually businesses. So as they're taking you over, they're making larger and larger profits. So they're financing themselves all the way along. A microcosm of that is the G20 bank heads openly have giant stock in all these private security firms. They had Canada pay tens of millions of dollars to their own security firms and gave them the authorization to arrest protesters. And now it's come out that they weren't even licensed and there wasn't even a law. They just lawlessly came in and had private security goons, that's CBC TV today, and grabbed Canadian citizens off the street, impersonating officers. And the cops don't care. No one will be charged. It's all selectively enforced. Then Charlie Veach, an activist, jokes and calls himself the love police, and so they arrest him. And that's an example of how the corporate government is literally running everything. As I said earlier, you read these SPP documents, and it's the North American Union meeting, and you've got the corporate governors there calling all of the shots. They're there telling the Secretary of States and the other heads of the bureaucracies in Canada, the United States, and Mexico what they're going to do. The corporations will have a vote amongst themselves, and then they will deliver that vote in the meeting to the politicians, and then they will swear to develop it extra legislatively, extra judicially, through the executive and the bureaucracy. And you've got the media heads there, and they go and then instruct all of their underlings on the policy. This is an outside corporate looting, just like major corporations got together and went in 150 years ago or so and overthrew China and broke it up in many parts. That's all. I mean, it's just kind of like private corporations were operating all over the United States when they were taking it from Native Americans and killing them. Or the British East India Company in India. I mean, they would command British armies. This is a British model. If you read 200 years ago, the British East India Company, more than 200 in some cases, with huge battles with Maharajas and other leaders that, you know, as they were conquering India, it took them hundreds of years from their ports to build and expand. And it would be huge British armies, British and Scottish troops and Indian forces they trained, lined up in just huge 3-4 day long battles, and the British East India Company would be there commanding those operations. And that's the New World Order. And so you go, why is the media telling me about 11 Russian spies and I should, you know, just literally have a heart attack and die? Why are they telling me about men in turbans that might kill me? I better give all my rights up. And then you get the government documents and all the trainings actually for you, the American people. See, they tell you give up your rights.